One Guitar Junkie here, and we're going to look at G minor. I've drawn a G minor pentatonic scale form. Actually, it's a G pentatonic form, and we're in the key of G, G minor, so our first finger's on the G. If you're looking at the diagram that's on my web page, this would be the 6th degree of the scale. This note right here is where the 6 would be, and it would be 6, 7, 1. This would be the root if we used it as a major, but we're using it as a minor. So we've got our first finger using all the strings at the 3rd fret. Now this is not a chord. We're not going to play all these notes at once. We're playing them one at a time. We go 1st finger, 4th finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, 4th finger, 1st finger, 4th finger. The reason it's called pentatonic is there are only 5 notes here. This note in between the A and the B, that's a B flat. Okay, because we would use an A in the key of G natural minor, it would go G, A, B flat. So we can't call this an A sharp because we're going to have an A natural. And one of the rules in music theory is you can't use the same letter name twice in a regular scale, whether, if it's a 7-note diatonic scale, whether it's major or minor or the modes, you use each letter name one time. So this is a B flat in the key of G minor. So we're going G, B flat, C, D, F. That's 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we start over. G, B flat, C, D, F. Then we start over G, B flat. Now you don't have to worry about the names if you remember the fingering. As long as we're starting on a G, that's your first finger, 4th finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, 3rd finger, 1st finger, 4th finger, 1st finger, 4th finger. Now, a lot of people get bored with pentatonic and they want to add extra notes, or sometimes they think we need a whole different scale. What other scales can I use? Well, if the song's in the key of G minor, there's a couple of things you can't get away from. You're going to have a G because that's the root, and if it's a minor scale, you're going to have that B flat. Without that minor 3rd, it's not going to sound minor. So we can't use totally different scales. What we can do is add or change 1 or 2 notes. Now the chords to the song we're going to do are G minor, C7, and D7. Now in a normal minor key, you wouldn't have that C7 chord. You'd have a C minor chord. Now the C7 chord, if you were to bar it at the 3rd fret, you'd lay your finger across here, and you'd hold this G and this E, and you'd leave that note open. So we'd have these barred, and you'd hold that note and that note. That note in that C7 chord we can use in this song. And what makes that happen is if we were in Dorian mode, you'd have a minor 1 chord, which we have, G minor, and a dominant 7 chord, which in the key of G is your C7, in the key of G Dorian. That C7, that 4 chord, is a dominant 7 chord. If you have a minor 1 chord and a dominant 7 for a 4 chord, you're in Dorian mode. So we could play Dorian mode over most of this song. And the other note that you add for Dorian mode, it's just like a natural minor, except you raise the 6th degree of the scale. So if we call this G1, that's 1, 2 would be this A. Now you'd have to shift positions to get that A, but in this song we can go 3rd finger here, shift down, 1st finger, 2nd finger, 4th finger, shift back up, 1st finger, 3rd finger. If we were natural minor, there'd be an E flat there, but this isn't natural minor, this is Dorian. We're going to use that E, then that F, then G, and we can use that A again. So now what we've done is we've added the E. You can also shift down or stretch. You can get that E if you want by stretching to your 4th finger, or you can shift down for this one, but that's not real necessary. So we've got G, A, B flat, C, D, E, because we're in Dorian mode. Normally there'd be an E flat right here, but we're in Dorian mode, so we can either use that note or that note. Now those both take you out of the position, so what you could do is just skip those E's, just stay regular minor here, G, A, B flat, C, D. Don't use that E, use F, G, A, B flat, C, D, use this E, F, G, A, B flat. That way you don't have to stretch a lot, and we're only leaving the position once. Now the other note that you're going to be able to use in this song is an F sharp when we hit the 5 chord, because in this song D7 is the 5 chord, and D7 has an F sharp in it, not an F. Now the only time that F sharp is going to fit is when we're on that D7 chord. You can throw it in as a passing note other times, but you'll have to learn to trust your ear. That's why most people improvise with the pentatonic minor. Those notes will fit all the time. As we add these other notes, you'll see when you can use them and when you can't. So We're going to add the F sharp when we're on the 5-7 chord, and you can add this A almost any time, and you can add that E. Most of the time you can sit on it when you're on the C7 chord, but the other times it'll be a passing note. So you see we dressed up our pentatonic minor. I'm going to demonstrate this now, and I'll show it on the guitar, but we'll start out with a simple pentatonic, and then we'll add that major 6, the major 6th degree of the scale, then we'll add the second, and once in a while we'll add that major 7. It's the 7th note in a G minor scale, but instead of playing an F, it's an F sharp. So even though we're playing a D7 chord, which is not a major 7 chord, the note that we're putting in is the major 7th of this scale. Okay, let's give it a shot.